Hi, it's Liz again with the Elysian Eon. I'm back. I was just getting some messages from my guides, my spirit guides and ancestors, to talk a little bit about healing, about the process of letting go of karmic cycles and past relationships with people, and conditioning. And this is specifically for those who resonate with having had to deal with karmic partners in the past, or family or friendships, whatever it was. This notion of us having to shrink down or losing ourselves in the process of connection. And one second. And why we might have to sometimes forgive before we feel ready. You know, what we might ask ourselves at times: what is it? What is it that we did? Why did we have to go through such difficult, challenging circumstances? And what was it? Was it some kind of punishment? Was it some kind of lesson from the universe? And most of the time, yes, it was a lesson. It was a lesson that that we've signed up for on a spiritual level, on on the astral level. We've signed up to, and we've agreed to go through these cycles as part of our activation, as part of our ascension path, so that we can illuminate to others the journey. It feels difficult, right, to accept, to reconcile that there can be such darkness in the world, that people are capable of such cruel and vindictive things, violence, the crimes that we go through, the suffering, the heartache, the manipulation, because it doesn't resonate with us on any level. And a lot of us as empaths, we have this difficulty to see when it's happening, because we just can't fathom that anyone can act in those ways. And that is the lesson. That is the big part of the lesson that we come to learn, because we're so full of love and light, because we are so open and receptive to others. We're warm. We come from source energy. We are pure in that nature. That we have to learn how to reconcile that in duality. Though everything is of the all and is perfect, it is not in this duality, in this matrix that we live in. So yeah, what was the message? Remind me. There is an imbalance with most people who have empathy, who are super empaths. There's an imbalance with people who can carry higher level frequencies, light workers, and this is what the training ground really is when we're going through these traumatic experiences, this loss, this letting go. We've spent probably an entire lifetime learning the skills necessary in order to release the external and look further within. And that's the test, almost, in a sense. It's knowing that you have always found solace and comfort inside, and the burdens, they get harder. The challenges are more difficult each and every time. Oh yeah, and how do we? Spirit wanted me to talk about how it is that we're able to release, to not harbor resentment, to not continue going forward with the idea of retribution. Okay, seeking justice and retribution, and then also, holding space for that, and then being able to seek justice and retribution when necessary, without misaligning ourselves in the process. And this is a really tough balance, and it comes down to the fact that we have had so much practice in leaving things in the hands of the divine, in letting the universe balance it out, and in letting go, becoming detached from that which we can't control, because empaths do have a tendency not to be able to control anything. And we don't wish to. It's not innate within us. We don't have the desire to control others. So when we're placed into these extreme mirrors of everything that we are not, this distortion, it forces us to look so deep within that we go down to the point of total breakdown of the ego, of absolute dissolution. And if we come back up, and everyone here watching this has come back up, it's because we found that one truth that resonated so deeply and could never be destroyed, and that is the only truth. When you know that only truth, then it's the task of rebuilding the self in the 3D physical reality to a point of being able to then hold space for both of those aspects, for the contradictory nature of duality. That yes, evil, cruelty does exist in the world, but it doesn't when you look at it from a higher perspective, when you are aligned with the most high in source consciousness, in unity consciousness, and love is the only frequency that is real. Once you know that, and then balancing the two, and it is counterintuitive, it doesn't make sense unless you have done that work. It's the resistance to moving into the nihilism, complete nihilism, and detachment entirely from the physical realm, which is a real struggle. Anyone who's gone through this knows this intimately. To be able to not become completely nihilistic and completely selfless, because yes, we are selfless, but to be selfless to the point that you have to embody your ego expression because you are a divine being of light and you're doing the work of the universe. You are an aspect of the universe coming in to change the paradigm. So you have to have an ego. So you kill your ego. Your ego gets killed off, and then you have to come back and try again. And then so what about, and then so you have to kind of fight a little bit for your right to exist, but where's the balance between fighting for it and just flowing with it? And this is the thing, we are called as light workers, as earth angels, as super empaths, whatever you want to call it, as chosen ones. We have to walk with the capacity to heal and to transmute this. We transmute the energy, basically. We purify that energy for others, because we've done that alchemical process within ourselves first. We balance boundaries with forgiveness and letting go, and justice and retribution with divine justice and retribution. It's letting go of the physical aspects of that and how it should look like. It's the notion of what it should look like on the surface level, and abandoning that idea and having faith in only that which is aligned, and that all that is aligned will be for us. That anything that was made to fall will fall because it was of the illusion, and having the forgiveness within the self and the soul to let go of that, to grieve it in its own time, and to allow it to fall away and make way for the new, without forming an attachment to it. And this is the thing. This is the whole death and rebirth cycle, but on the micro level, on the level that we live in. It's the macro, reflects the micro, and it's the same cycle. It's not easy. It isn't easy, and this is why we go through these hard situations, because we're proof that it doesn't matter how dark it can get, that the light will not be snuffed out. It is possible to ascend. It is possible to move past the limitations and the barriers and the blockages and the illusions of this 3D reality that feels so utterly real, and it is a real experience, and is so unjust and uncomfortable and so misaligned without it breaking us entirely, so that we can be here, so that we don't shrink and allow for these distortions to overtake the narrative again. It's about restoring balance, and to forgive. I'm uncomfortable saying this, but it is true. To forgive is not forgiving, in a way, because you can forgive and you can let go, but normally when you've been through very difficult things, you have to leave it in the hands of the divine, You have to just turn it over to a higher power, because it's beyond your capabilities. It's beyond our capabilities to truly forgive, to wish. And the only way that we can do that is by wishing healing on a person, and knowing, and then being grateful and having gratitude. And this is the most, it's a head fuck. It's a fucking head fuck, let's be honest. We have to be grateful. The only way you can forgive is by being grateful, seeing it as the blessing that it was from the divine, source of creation, source of all consciousness and awareness of everything in existence and non-existence, and all that is and was and will be. To be grateful for that, because it gave you the experience in order to be able to grow. And if not for that, perhaps you wouldn't have. So that's a paradox. It's a huge paradoxical nature of, and it's confusing, because as empaths we want to love everyone, and then when we do forgive, when we're able to find some gratitude, it's the test again then comes around, because you have to be very cautious of not opening up or tearing down these boundaries that you've meticulously learnt to build. So this is when we learn our discernment. It's about, yes, you can forgive, you can be grateful for the experience, you can see it for what it is on a higher level, but not falling into the illusion that the work has been completed, because it has not in your actual aspect. If you're still around certain individuals and they have not ascended and they haven't changed, they haven't done any internal work, that, yeah, people who've gone through this will get this, but the point being is that the path is not, you ascend and that's it. It's not that. You ascend and then you descend again, and then you instill boundaries, and then you forgive, and you release, and then you find gratitude, and then you try and find some, and then you know the true boundaries that exist there, that you are to build on then in the physical realm. With people, places, things, it's about us stepping back into ourselves and seeing through the heart space, not seeing through the eyes, not projecting our truth. Oh, this is crazy, but not to not project our truth that is completely biased, and that everybody is love and deserves love and everything else. We have to bypass that truth and learn to see the actual truth that we're being presented, while still remaining in a high vibration. So anyway, that's the message from Spirit. And yeah, if you've done this, Jesus Christ, go and give yourself a pat on the back, because you are a warrior, and you've done a lot more than most people can. So much love, peace and light. Namaste. Take care.